Well, you guys have made it pretty obvious that you think that I should count Durin as a support, so we are now adding this boy to the list of supports because, well, technically his kit doesn't align with my definition of a support. You basically only play him as a support. Yes, he can do DPS stuff, but he plays so much like a support. I mean, I did put out a poll and like 94% of you wanted to count him as a support. So we are counting this boy as a support, which obviously means that we actually need to get Durin, which could be a slight issue. Well, I'm not going to mess around any longer. Let's just jump into these pools and see if we can get lucky and bring home our lovely boy Durin. As for 4 stars, I would like to see some Yehodas because I do count her, she heals. Farazan is already C6, and I don't remember who else is on the banner, but I will happily take Yehodas. Double Yehodas. Okay, perfect. That is quite a gorgeous pull, I must say. Who else is on the banner? Bennett. You're already also C6, so I just care about Yehodas. So this will bring us up to 68 pity, I believe. We are not seeing that 5-star. Not Farazan. Want to see more Yehodas, please. Please show me Yehoda. Thank you. Oh my god, we're getting some really good luck with the 4 stars today. That is another gorgeous pull. Aside from Farazan, but Yehoda's good. So now we can buy a few more pulls, do a couple singles, and we can see how this goes. It was going to be pushing it to get Durin today, because I don't have that many pulls, but this will be the last pull we can do. So let's see a blue. Perfect, why not? So now that will bring us to about 71 pity, I believe. So I need to somehow get a lot more pulls. So let's have a look what I can do. I could do main story quest, but I don't really want to do that, and that takes forever. I could probably try Stingy and Onslaught. There is also Imaginarium Theater, which I haven't done, and Abyss, which I also haven't done. So let's start with Abyss. I don't know if I'll try floor 12, I might give it a shot, but we'll run through Abyss. That'll give us another 600-ish primos. I mean, if we can 36 star, we get 800 primos, which is pretty good, but otherwise we get 600. Before we do that though, I have gone and unlocked this stuff, or at least done the prerequisite quest to it, so I can go do the Hexerai stuff now, which I will need to do for Durin. Also, I'll do it for Mona and Sucrose. And also, because of that, I got a free 4-star, which obviously I picked Sucrose because I can't use the other 2. So now we have a C4 Sucrose, and if we go to our lovely Yehoda here, we have a C3 Yehoda, which is actually pretty good. Because of, I can't remember what one it is, but one of these first 2 are actually really good for her. But now we can get into Spiral Abyss. Well, there we go. There is floors 9, 10, and 11 done. What has floor 12 got? Stupid crabs on the first half, and stupid Fontaine boss. This dude and annoying boss, and then more annoying enemies and more annoying bosses. The first team technically would be fine because I could just run the Luna team. My Luna Hyperbloom team, that'll be sweet. And normal pyro damage though. Yeah, we don't have any of that. I'm not going to worry about that for the time being. I am going to claim the rewards I currently have, which is a nice 600 primos. Then I'll try for Durin, and if we don't get him, I can either try floor 12 or go do Imaginarium Theater. I'm also on a 50-50, so I need to win the 50-50, which is another level of pain that I will have to deal with these pools. But hopefully we can get a 5-star and we can win the 50-50. We go down to our last pool we can currently do, and we see a blue. I have 2 standard pools though, so I could get a 4-star or even a 5-star. On standard banner, we see a 4-star, which is a Xing Cho. You're already C6, which is good. That means a free limited pool. So we go back to the shop, we go buy a pool, and we go get Durin. Oh, okay, 5-star. And it's whatever whatever that's called. I forget what it's called, but that's guaranteed. Let's go. Oh my god, that's actually crazy. I think that is the first time I have seen whatever that wish animation is on this account. I could be wrong about that, but that is sick. That is so good, actually, because I did not want to really worry about winning 50-50s today. It was funny, actually, because I forget that there's a different sound that plays in the background, because I heard like a little twinkling bell sound, and I was like, what is happening with this pool? I haven't heard that sound before, but that is because we get guaranteed character. So now we have Durin, which means I need to try to level him up, which is fun because that's another character added to the list of characters I need to try to level up for my big videos I'm doing, where I level up every single support on this account. But that's fine, we can deal with it. I didn't do any pre-farming for him. That's a problem. Oh well. Weapons. Mistsplitter. Perfect. Done. Artifacts. we're not dealing with that now. Actually, you know what? Why not? Let's put him on some artifacts because we are definitely focusing more of the supportive side of Durin. I did see a few different like suggestions on how to use Durin as he's kind of a 50-50 between support and DPS or like sub DPS. And I did see some people saying I could just do the skill to the skill and only use that form of Durin because that's his supportive form rather than doing the skill and then normal attack, which puts him into the DPS form. I don't think I'm gonna do that because I'm just counting Durin as a character as a support, not just the specific supportive version of him. Although I'm not really gonna be building him as a DPS that much, I'd say. He is definitely going to be built more as a support. Just because he has that kind of weird split playstyle, I'm just going to try to focus more on his supportive side of things. I've built enough DPSs on this account, and I would just like a decent support, especially a pyro support. Because, I mean, Bennett's our only really good one at the moment. Dia doesn't do a whole lot, and Toma is not built. Same with Xinyan. Chevreuse does work, but I don't use her very often. So yeah, we're definitely building Durin as more of a support. So that was a very long-winded way to say I'm going to run him on Noblesse. Just steal Chevreuse's pieces, or whatever pieces are best. So there we go, there is a Noblesse Oblige. I've just got him running attack, pyro, crit, more DPS focused stats, but I don't think his supportive stuff actually needs any specific stats unless I'm forgetting something. No, we just basically want attack for him, I think is the only real thing he scales off of. So as long as we have a decent amount of attack, which we have 1600 at the moment at level 40, so we should have a decent amount once he's level 80 or 90. I think just running him Mist-Splitter and Noblesse with sort of DPS focused stats will be fine. That's just kind of the build you normally run with him, I think. So now we need to actually go farm for him. So let's go farm this boss, which I realize is going to be a massive pain for this account because it is all pyro. You just want to do all pyro damage, and we have none of that. So I guess I'm gonna go do a bunch of runs of this, and I will see you once I've done. Well, there we go. That is 5 runs of that boss down. We have 15 of the boss shops, which I don't know how far that'll get us, but it will certainly get us somewhere. We can bring you to Ascension level 2. We can bring you to level 50, Ascension level 3, and level 60. And we need a few more of these, and these, and these. So that is a perfect time to go do some more farming. I will also need some more boss drops. So I am going to go farm. Probably should go farm these. And then I'll see you back in a few days. Once I farm some more of these, we can hopefully get him up to 80 or potentially even 90. We'll see. I probably won't have enough of these though, but we'll see. Well, it is now, I think, 2 days later. I have gone and done quite a bit of farming. We have farmed all of these I can currently do. It is unfortunately not going to be enough to get him up to level 90, but we do have all the boss shops and all of everything else I need to get him up to level 80. So let's start with that. There we go. That is his second last ascension, and there is level 80. So now, seeing as we have the weapons sorted, artifacts are all good. I did swap up one of them, and he's on a slightly better crit ratio now, sitting at 60 to 176 with his ascension stuff we just did. So now we just have the talents. Now, because I am going to be using him fully supportive, I'm just going to focus on his burst, and then we'll do a little bit on his skill as well. The other thing I need to do is his Hexerai quest, so let's actually start off with that. There is Durin's quest done. It is by far the quickest of the Hexerai quests. I should also probably have a look at doing the other ones. I forget who it is, Mona and Sucrose's. But I don't think I'm going to be using Durin with those two for the time being, so I can't really be bothered. So now with the Hexerai stuff done, let me go do some crafting and get his burst and skill up to a level. I'm not too sure. Durin's burst, we want to get that up to level 6, which we can do, although now we can't do a skill anymore because I need a lot more of these. They are currently open today, which is good. So while I don't have a lot of resin, let me go do a run in here. We can get his skill up to level 4, and that's gonna be, no, we can go to 5 probably. We can get that skill up to level 5. 1, 5, 6 is gonna have to, oh no, we actually go 1, 5, 7. There we go. It could be better, but it will do for now. Final stats are over 2000 attack, 60.6 to 176.5. Kinda low ER, but it should be fine. He does get a lot of ER from his skill, but he does also have a relatively high burst cost, I believe. but I will probably be using him on teams with other pyro characters, so we should be sweet. Speaking of which, let's have a look at our teams. First team, I would like to actually try out a overload team. I believe this is probably our best bet for an overload team, although I could probably swap out Dia for someone else, like a Sarah would probably be a half decent option. And the other team, I don't know how well it will go, but I want to try out a melt team, like a Seat Lali melt team. Otherwise, I could use him probably with Mizuki for Pyro Swells, or with Lauma and Nahida and those guys for Burgeon. There's probably a few different teams I could try out, but those two, this one and the melt team, are the main ones I really want to try out because they seem interesting. Okay, so rotation-wise, I believe we probably want to do something like this. And then we do Chevris, we do Kujo Sara, and then Raiden. We see 104,000, which is pretty decent. And we're seeing 16,000s, 19,000s. That's actually pretty good. I think that actually is one of our best Raiden teams on this account now. I did slightly butcher the rotation, I think, so I could have probably smoothed it out a little bit. But that was some pretty decent damage, to be honest. The other thing I could also do, which I kind of didn't realize, I could put Raiden on a crit damage circlet because she's gaining more energy recharge, and also she had like 80 to 111, which is not very good. So while the crit rate's lower here, it's a bit more of a balanced crit ratio, plus she has more ER. I can swap around a few pieces, which will drop her ER down a little bit, but I don't think she really needs too much because she's not on a signature. I know she does still do ER-based damage, I think, but I don't think we need a ton of it. But it does clean up her crit ratio a little bit more. 61 to 179 is actually pretty good. So let's try this again with a slightly revised Raiden build. And then Raiden. And we see less damage because I don't think I crit. But we see 30,000 there on the normal attacks, 20,000 as well, 25,000, only 11,000 from Durin, which is not very good. But there was a 30,000 on the normal attacks, which is actually pretty good. We ignore the fact that the burst didn't crit, but even if it did, I'd say I'd probably hit for like 110,000 maybe, just roughly estimating. I definitely think Raiden has a new best team on this account, which means it is time to go try out the next team. So now for the Seat Lali Melt team, I think we probably want to do Shenhe's stuff, then swell with Kazuha, because we want to swell the Cryo, and then Durin, and then Seat Lali, because Seat Lali is going to be doing the melt damage. I do think Seat Lali has hit our highest damage on this account, so we could see even higher damage right here. We do this, we do that, Kazuha, and then Durin. He's blocking, because of course he is. Stop blocking. Stop. Okay, he's not going to stop blocking. We want to do that. Then we want to wait for Pyro to be applied. Pyro's not applied. We hit. I didn't see it, but it wasn't a melt because Pyro wasn't applied. We use her skill first and then do everyone else. And then hopefully, by the time I've done all of my stuff, her thing is gone, which it has. And now we can do big melt damage, except I didn't see it. And it didn't really do much of its HP, so I don't think it was that big. Okay, I think everything wore off. But we did 95,000, which is less damage than Seat Lali normally does. That is in a normal freeze team. She can do... Actually, no, it might be more damage. I think she does 80,000 in a normal freeze team. So I think it is more damage, although it's not as much as I would like to see. But I do know that our highest damage on this account was done by Seat Lali in a melt team, I believe. So I want to try to do more damage, I guess. So I'm going to go back and look at that video and see what team I used and see if I can slot Durin in somewhere. Okay, so I went back and looked at the build and I was using Seat Lali, Bennett, Kazu, and Shalona. So I'm just going to swap out Bennett with Durin. And then I think we just want to keep an eye out for the Elemental Mastery buff from the Widsith because we want higher EM. And then I've changed her crit ratios a little bit to get her with even more crit damage. So I guess let's go to the same boss I did before and let's see if I can hit more damage. Ooh, 22,000 there from Durin. That's in his DPS form, which I mean isn't particularly massive damage, but it's a nice little thing on the side if I end up running him in his DPS form ever, which as I said, I probably won't because I'm using him as a support. Okay, so if we swap to Seat Lali now, we still don't have it yet. Swap to... Okay, we still don't have it yet. Let's do a rotation because otherwise this boss is going to despawn. Boom, boom, boom. That. Do this. Seat Lali, I didn't see what we got, but we hit 290,000. That's actually not bad. What buff did we get? We got not the EM one. I'd assume if I actually got the EM buff and I actually used food buffs, we could definitely hit over that 409,000, but I do not have time to do that right now. I don't have time to deal with RNG, so I'll just take the almost 300,000. It's pretty damn good. Durin is actually doing good things, so we can use him on either the Seat Lally team to do big Seat Lally melt damage, or we can use him on the Ride and Overload team for the same reason, just with overload damage. So with that being said, that is all I'm going to have time for this video. So I hope you guys did enjoy. If you liked this video, do go check out that DPS Seat Lally build I did a while ago where I hit that 409,000. And with that being said, do consider subscribing, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.